Welcome into the PHNX Cardinals halftime show. I'm Johnny Venable, Frank Sanders, Bo Brock, Damian Anderson. My God, that was certainly some football. Not the barn burner that I think we hoped for before the season. Very much, Bo Brock, a battle of two teams right now who are offensively offensive.
Yeah, it is. It is offensive to watch the offenses go to work today. Did they know there was a game today? I mean, Arizona Cardinals defense and J.J. Watt kind of giving us, answering the question, okay, what now for the final 4 games of the season? Is it worth tuning in to watch this Cardinals team?
Yes.
And this defense with 6 sacks is showing that they're the I guess, the best unit on the field today, guys.
Yep, the offense is what we thought it would be.
Yeah,
I mean it's dink and dunk with Colt McCoy.
Yeah,
that's just the offense right now. We're not really trying to show that air raid game out of his arm and just trying to get guys to go deep. You can run a bunch of crossing routes, man, and let that thing happen. But at the end of the day, you got to be happy in what you're watching out of your defense. We didn't think it was going to be a scoring fest, knowing what we had coming into the game with Colt McCoy and Ripken being the 2 quarterbacks. But at the end of the day, you got to be a little bit happy at what you're seeing out of your team. They're on the road. They could be tanking, and they're not. They're actually going out in the fight. And JJ is giving his best because guess what? JJ got a little chump change when he made those sacks.
So
congratulations to JJ. Today. And guess what, DA? It's just football, man. At the end of the year, and you got 2 teams fighting.
I mean, and when you have a pillar of the team like JJ, who's continually showed up, right? Even when this team has struggled, even days like today when no one knew what to expect. I mean, really, when you're trying to pick this game, you're like, I really don't know, because they're both with so much turnover, not having your quarterbacks in the play. So to have guys like J.J. Watt and the rest of, the crew step up today, as Bo mentioned, having 6 sacks total, J.J. just having a presence in the Broncos backfield. There's some good things that you see. You just hate that you're at this point of the season when it's happening.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, too, because you think about this matchup before the year, and we talked about going to this game, it was going to be Russell Wilson versus Kyler Murray. I thought Brett Rippon, when given time, has made some good throws. Colt McCoy on the other side, Bo, 3.6 yards per attempt, and I think a couple interceptions that definitely could have been converted but were dropped by Denver.
Yeah, it was. It's been a brutal look. It's been just kind of a sludge on both sides offensively for Rippon and Colt McCoy. There just hasn't been. There hasn't been much there. There just hasn't been much there. I love in the chat, people are already talking about Watt. And, statistically, we're looking at this one. They haven't credited him with the 3rd sack. There it is. So finally, he's got 5 total tackles. He's got 3 sacks, which ties a career high. And look, JJ's
that's the first half, Bo.
He's got 100 sacks in his career.
That's the first half.
So the fact that at his age, at this stage in his career, he's tying his career high single game in a half of play. 3 quarterback hits, 3 tackles for losses, that pass swatted down. We saw JJ Swat show up in a forced fumble. What do we think about, because we're already really looking forward to the future of this Arizona Cardinals organization, as the reports came out that Steve Keim likely won't return as GM of this team, as we think of who's coming with us. We're Jerry Maguire right now. We got the Goldfish. Who's coming with us? Is J.J. Watt a part of those plans?
He's not, and that's because I believe J.J. Watt will have his sights set on a different organization that's going to put themselves in a better position to win a championship next year. I don't know that definitively. I have no doubt in my mind Michael Bidwell wants J.J. Watt around as long as he wants to play football. Very much Larry Fitzgerald-esque at the end of his career. But J.J. Watt, if you saw Hard Knocks recently, talked about these chances don't come along very often. He and his wife, both professional athletes, they want to be able to maximize their time on the playing field. And right now, watching him, Frank Sanders, it's more than just money. He wants to be on a championship team that he thought he was getting when he came to Arizona.
Oh, I agree without a doubt. I mean, when you get at this stage in the game, you got a couple opportunities. And that's what you want. The money was great to come to Arizona for a guy who had
if it's good, they're going to stay here. If the money's good,
I don't know about
they're going to stay here. Think about it. How many professional athletes? Frank, you're a retired professional athlete. Where are you at?
On staying and leaving.
Where's the best place to, and I mean, in a Florida native, I mean, where do you make home? But where's the best place to take care of your body in the offseason?
I love Arizona right now, without a doubt. To take care of my off-season, in-season, Arizona's just a great place to go.
Right.
But when you're looking at where he's at, he's been on losing teams consistently. He's got the Frank Sanders life out of Texan, but he had good moments and he had some good players, and he's been a great player by himself consistently in the NFL, and that's why we know him as J.J. Watt. We're so grateful to see what he's doing and finishing up. But to realize that if the Cardinals can manage and put bonus money in on paper form, I think I'd stay from that standpoint. But I got to see better things. Like, I got to see better. He brought D-Hops here. D-Hops is here because of him. And you need those type of things to happen. And I think that if they can make some better decisions in the offseason, then maybe he might stay. But I'm with Johnny. I want to try to get that chip, man. I think that's the most important part. $9 million to win a championship over taking 20 and losing and going through another season like that, I'd say F that. We playing in snow, sun. We playing on the moon for a championship after his career. That would be the greatest satisfaction for a guy in his time and tenure.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about obviously maximizing this short window in your life, right? As a pro athlete, but he still has the ability. Part of that is maximizing how much money he's making. You know, J.J. Watt, to DA's point, I mean, one, as far as living here in the desert, it's obviously very appealing, right? And then you've got like, is he going to stare down, you know, the vet minimum, potentially go join a contender, or, you know, is he going to get the Larry Fitz treatment where he's going to get, you know, not a blank check, but he's going to get paid probably more handsomely here than he would elsewhere.
Regardless if it's a third party, Quentin Harris, Adrian Wilson, J.J. Watt is one of the people they've identified that I'm sure they want to bring back.
I agree.
And if it financially makes sense, he'll be on this team. And I think that to your point, if there's another favorable offer where team's hella competitive and is the league minimum, I think that J.J. I don't think he makes that move. I think that he feels as though that it's going to be one of those Larry Fitzgerald type situations where, you know, I don't want to necessarily be moving around a lot. You know, I'm raising a kid now, and I want to have something that's centrally. I mean, not necessarily centrally, but a place where we all feel comfortable. You know, wife can train, I could train. You could grow up, raise a family here, and Arizona makes sense. And I mean, he struggled before. I don't think. I mean, granted, sure, it's about Super Bowls, but it's also about family security.
Where can you say with you know, without a reasonable doubt that you can contend next season? I mean, you look at the NFL, you look at the teams that what you thought you knew is completely incorrect now. I mean, look at the top 10.
Well, I would say one
KC,
team,
right?
KC.
Yeah,
KC,
Buffalo. KC or Buffalo.
He's gonna go move to Buffalo.
You lived in Wisconsin. He's fine. Here's what I will say. I'm gonna play devil's advocate real quick here.
Okay.
Because I love J.J. Watt. He's having a hell of a year. If we had gotten this before the season, everybody would have signed up for this. But remember what his last couple seasons were before this. He was injury prone. He missed time. Are you going to invest now when you're paying Kyler Murray a premium to miss games next year, invest big money on an injury-prone J.J. Watt approaching mid-30s? I don't know if that's the best use of the Cardinals' time. What I would like to see more so is if you could come back on a one-year deal where there's not a bunch of guarantees in future years, of course, you take that. But I think he's going to want a little bit more security than that. And this Cardinal defense, this front seven in particular, has to develop talent and get younger. And you could say, okay, well, that's alongside J.J. Watt. You also have to throw in the factor of where does that leave Zach Allen, right? Is there enough money for both of them to come back? Zach Allen was really having a nice year before he broke his hand. He's out for, we think, the next couple of weeks indefinitely. So the decisions are, if you're a team that's going to be rebuilding in the top five, how much do you invest in somebody who's in their mid-30s? Or do you allow the contract to expire, you allow J.J. Watt to sign a nice deal somewhere else, and you get a compensation pick? I mean, those are the kind of questions. It's not fun questions. It's not fun to talk about DeAndre Hopkins making $30+ million and whether or not that's a movable chip. But what they've done so far, it's not working. And it's a combination, well, I believe, of both coaching and personnel.
Getting back to this game.
Yeah, I mean, when you got the Cardinals got 87 yards total.
No red zone.
87 yards total.
For either team. No team has reached the red zone on either.
That's fine.
The Broncos or the Cardinals.
That's fine.
No team has been within striking. No team has been inside the 20.
But you guys are acting like we've watched this team all year. We're acting like we're seeing something new here.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, with the 10 different offensive setups that they've had on the offensive line, you knew that it was going to be problematic for Colt McCoy. We saw that
it was going to be ugly.
Yeah, we knew that it was going to be ugly. So the fact that he has, what does he have, Frank? 80 yards right now?
Here's Colt McCoy's line.
11 passing yards.
Yeah, 11 for 19, 69. Here's the problem. Denver with Latavius Murray, 9 for 44. They're running it for 4.6 yards per carry. Yet they're letting
he had one rush for 21 yards.
Okay, but they're letting Brett Rippon drop back and
what does he have? How many yards?
105. But They're moving the ball better than the Cardinals.
They are. It appears that way.
Both teams are 1 for 7 on third down.
Yeah.
They're both atrocious on third down. Both defenses
Cardinals
can
got
pen
6
their
sacks,
necks.
though.
Denver's running the football
Cardinals
back.
got 6 sacks though.
How about, you got Denver with that ferocious defensive secondary, Simmons, who already has a pick in Surtain, but then the Arizona Cardinals are starting Christian Matthew and Jace Whitaker. We haven't even said their names today because the Cardinals front seven's been so solid.
Yeah, Zaven Collins looks good. The run
Yeah.
defense is a little hit or miss, but the guys are making plays that you want to see. Everybody we talked about, what's the point of watching these games? Well, you want to see the next generation of Cardinal players, the young players, the Myjai Sanders, who's flash.
He's playing well today.
Trey McBride had a catch. We'll see some of these younger guys hopefully continue to make plays and grow and build momentum over the course of the next 4 weeks. What are you laughing at?
This is Minsky saying he's staying up late in the UK to watch this toilet bowl.
Hey,
We feel for
that's
you, but
what a
look,
fan
we
is.
appreciate
But
you,
Johnny's
Minsky.
telling you exactly why you're tuning in, and you're seeing some things. J.J.
To
Watt,
hang out with
Myjai
some
Sanders,
bros.
Cameron Thomas, potentially. There are players out there on the field that are giving you good reason that you're staying up late.
Oh, Dino, I think we're on the verge of that maybe in the next couple of weeks. I don't think Colt McCoy plays all 4 of these games. I think Trace McSorley at least gets a game or a half at some point.
Guys, have we
this
seen
franchise.
anything on offense stick out besides?
I think players are open. I think
Besides being scared for Colt McCoy.
Maybe our guy Frank Sanders can kind of talk to this because you're seeing the rapport between Colt McCoy and Hollywood Brown just not there.
Yeah. It's not there because our system is so fast, and you have to get the ball out so quick with the way they're coaching
Timing.
him, with his timing. So typically, the guy that's in the slot is not the guy that's going to turn around and run 5-yard little hitches. Now, when you have to open things out, he's the stretcher, and the ball is coming out much faster to the tight end and to D-Hops, and that's just what it is right now. He's that runoff guy, and unfortunately, it's not good. And that's just where we are right now. Our offensive line can't hold no more than 2.5 seconds. That's terrible. Our running game's not pushing anything back. So you look at it right now where guys expect better. He's back now. He's healthier. He wants to be one of the guys that's getting the ball so he can show what he can do. And right now,
But you need time, Frank. You need time now.
I mean, you just don't have it, though, man.
I mean, we've seen
We got 3 more
back-to-back
games,
games where the quarterback's getting pummeled. It shouldn't be a situation where we're giving Purple Hearts to the quarterback because of his ability to endure. You know what I mean? That's the unfortunate, state of the union for the Arizona Cardinals right now.
6-3, 3 points seems like a 10-point lead right now.
We winning though.
What's the game plan to put this thing away? Do we want it to put away?
I mean, you want to see fight continue in the second half. They have to establish the run at some point. They have to be able to convert some second and third downs with James Conner on the ground. I think they're trying. Will Hernandez, you would assume, was going to help them at right guard, but that hasn't really transpired. So, Colt is inaccurate today. When Colt's inaccurate, all bets are off, and he's liable to give the team the other football. I feel fuzzy and warm knowing that we have all this nightmare together, experiencing it together. Appreciate you guys at PHNX. Thank you, Minsky. And we appreciate everybody tuning into the PHNX Cardinals halftime show. We will be back immediately following the conclusion of Cards at Broncos. Don't miss it.